English for Migrants, a free weekly program to help migrants improve their English. With your English teacher, Adon.
Hello, good morning, and thank you for joining me today. If you are joining me in Auckland, nice to have you. If you are listening to me in the Wairarapa region on Arrow FM, a special welcome to you. I am Adon Kumar, your English teacher. If you want to improve your English, you are in the right place. I'm a migrant just like you, and my passion is to help migrants succeed. So every Sunday at 11:20 a.m., I'll bring you a new English lesson to help you gain confidence in your speaking, listening, reading, and writing. I'll also have a regular live interview program called Get Real, where I invite special guests and experts on my show to share their real-world experiences with you. If you want to be one of my guests, do send me an email and I will contact you and get you onto my radio program. The sponsor of my program is the Citizens Advice Bureau. They provide free and confidential advice to ensure that individuals do not suffer through their ignorance of their rights and responsibilities. Contact their Central, Eden, Albert, or Newland branches for details about their new migrant support services at www.cab.org.nz, www.cab.org.nz, or you can phone them on 0800 367 222, 0800 367 222. You can also join me at the free migrant workshops at the Mount Albert CAB branch on the 18th of April in the morning, and also at the CAB Newland branch on the 18th of April in the afternoon. You need to call them to register first, so why don't you do that after this show? Well, my lesson last week was on the language of time. I taught you lots of words to talk about time and also a number of what we call prepositional phrases related to time. Can you remember what on the dot means? If you missed my program last week, don't worry. You can listen to that online at any time.
Listen to this program again online, planetaudio.org.nz/English for Migrants. That's planetaudio.org.nz/English for Migrants.
Well, when you get there, you click on the listen button on that web page to listen to my most recent lesson. You can also click on the archive button to listen to any of my past lessons, and I have about 60 lessons waiting for you. You can also download all my lessons onto your computer, your smartphone, or your tablet. So today, I am moving on to a new topic, and guess what you think it is?
Today's English topic.
Well, today is not something that I'm going to talk about. It's what we call the Get Real interview program. And I've got an interview with a man from the Big Three. And you might not know what the Big Three is. It used to be called Big Five because there were some very large agencies in the world called the consulting agencies. And they have narrowed to around 3 big boys these days. And as you know, I regularly invite special guests on my show to come and share their real-world experiences with you. So that is why I call these programs Get Real Interviews. You know, there are thousands of migrants struggling to find jobs in New Zealand. And so you have to ensure that you have the right things to make sure that you are able to get the right job. So what you have to do is a number of things, and the best way to learn this is to listen to a migrant, and I believe that every now and then by bringing the migrants, they can tell you their great success stories. And today I have one such migrant sitting in front of me. I'm sure you'll be inspired and motivated to hear his story. So let me introduce this young man and ask him a few questions. And good morning, Ram.
Yeah, hi everyone. It's great to be on air here.
Thank you for coming and welcome to my show. So the first thing I would like to ask you to do is to tell me a little bit about yourself, your full name, what you do, the company you work for, and so on.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Narasimhan, and at the moment I'm a senior manager in the IT advisory team in KPMG New Zealand, and it's been a great experience working here. And it's one of the best things to do is to get a good job in a good consulting firm, and I'm quite happy about it.
Great. KPMG you mentioned, right?
That's right.
Okay. So can you just tell me what KPMG is all about?
Okay, so KPMG is one of the big 4 accounting firms, and they have a consulting wing, and they basically deal with clients with regards to audit, tax, private enterprise, which is small, medium business, and which includes the technology wing, which is primarily delivery of management consulting.
Okay.
And so I'm in that wing where we talk to clients about the issues and try to solve it.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, like you are a migrant yourself, and I'm guessing from looking at you, you must be from India. So could you tell us a little bit about your background, your ethnicity, and a little bit about what you did in India?
Sure. So, yeah, basically I'm from Bangalore, southern part of India. And I did my foundational studies over there, including my high school and my bachelor's of engineering. And at the age of 21, I kind of decided to do a master's program.
Wow.
And that's when, that was because of the inspiration that I got from my parents. And that's when I decided to look for those options. And when I looked at multiple options with US, Australia, UK, New Zealand, thinking of financial planning and thinking of affordability, I kind of chose New Zealand.
Yes.
Because I wanted to make sure I fund it myself, and I'm able to kind of repay it back quickly as possible.
So you didn't depend on your parents to do all this?
I did, in the sense that they got me the loan, but there was no financial commitment from their side. It was purely from my side.
Wow.
And one of the most important things I realized was that it's not just about academic education. It's about the financial education that you can have as a youngster to understand what are the implications of either getting a job or doing a degree. You need to understand if you're able to spend $100,000 on a degree, how quickly can you make that, or how quickly can you repay it.
Okay.
So from that standpoint, I chose New Zealand because University of Auckland was one of the top 100 universities in the world.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong in the place. How the university is a fantastic place.
Right.
And the professors and the kind of motivation I got from them and the kind of projects I did is at par with any other university in the world. So
you didn't work in India?
I didn't actually work, but I was an intern for about 6 to 8 months in a firm, in 3 different firms.
Right.
And that was my only experience. So basically, in terms of job market, when I talk to recruitment consultants here at the company, for them it's basically zero experience.
All right.
And I started from zero.
So you came here really as a student, is that right?
Yeah.
And you studied at Auckland Uni.
That's right.
So what did you study?
What did I study? It was Masters of Computer Engineering.
Wow.
Yeah. So to get into that, I had to get certain amount of grades in my bachelor's and face the interview, pass the interview, and then probably get the degree. Get the admission for the degree.
So you came here to study, and have prior to coming to New Zealand, had you been to any Western countries?
No, actually.
So
this is my
first
experience.
time. So I'd like you to tell our listeners what your experience was like. You're coming to a totally alien world, as it were, from India. You're coming to a European country here. What was your experience like when you first came to New Zealand?
I think when I first came here, one of the most important things I did was mentally I prepared myself to be very confident wherever I am.
Right.
And to know the surroundings of what I'm getting into. And also not be negative about any experiences or any feedback that I would get.
Right.
I took it very positively, and I had a very positive frame of mind. And I said, whatever happens, I need to stick to my goals. I have this ambition in my career, and I need to focus on that.
Yes.
And whatever difficulties I might face, I just need to overcome that.
Okay.
And I did a lot of research in understanding the local market, in understanding the policies and rules for migrants, and then also in understanding how can I make it more successful, and how I can market myself.
So technically you have a computing background, and then you came here and studied, and then you were out on the job market, as it were, looking for a job. So in terms of language, in terms of culture, how easy or difficult was it when you first came to New Zealand?
Luckily, my second language has always been English since my study days as a youngster.
Yes.
And before coming here, we had to do a bit of training in English, which is around TOEFL and
IELTS and all that.
Things.
Right.
Yeah. So I did that.
Okay.
However, I had a good habit of reading books and magazines, and also watching a lot of movies. So in that sense, picking up the accent, picking up the language was okay.
Yeah.
However, I would like to emphasize that for the first 6 to 8 months, it's quite a challenge for anyone new.
Is it because you didn't understand the Kiwis, or they didn't understand you?
It's probably some of the peculiar words in the language and some of the peculiar accents within the local community.
Yeah.
And also, it's like you need to know their lifestyle to pick up certain slang words.
Exactly.
And that will help you align your thinking and your words.
Yeah. The common theme I hear from my migrant students is, the Kiwis talk too fast, and they'll keep asking me, pardon, what's this? So they feel a bit, deflated, because they think, hey, I'm speaking English, and somehow they don't understand me, and then I think they are speaking English, but that sounds a bit strange, So you're saying that in the first 6 months or so, there was this sort of learning curve and beginning to understand.
I think one of the things is that with our mother tongue, what we tend to do is that we tend to convert that into English when we start speaking.
Yes.
And I think what you have to start doing is that properly understand the grammatical importance of the language, and also see the difference between conversational English, email English, and actual professional written English.
Exactly.
So probably pick up all the 3 skills, not just blindly think speaking English is right. It's basically for the context and with the kind of audience you're dealing with.
So, of course, a very good point you're making, because you're so used to, in your own country, speaking English in a certain way.
Yeah.
And then we come here, the culture is different, the setting is different. And of course, as you say, we're always doing a little bit of a translation in the head.
Yeah.
Your mother tongue, English, and then speaking it. So it takes time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me about your first job. How did you go about getting it, and what was it?
So when I first came to New Zealand, I had this huge burden of financial burden. And when I started looking for jobs, first I had to understand that there is student job search, and then there is actual professional job search on seek.co.nz.
Yes.
And one of the issues I faced was a lot of employers started asking me, do you have permanent residency? And I was alien to that concept. Right. I did not understand that. So in 6 months when I arrived, after completing those 3 papers that I had, I started looking up for that keyword, permanent residency, and understood it's basically a visa.
Yes.
I said, okay, fine. How do I get this? Okay, so you need to have a job.
Yeah.
Fine. How do I get your job? The employer says you need to have the visa to get a job. So I was in this catch-22 situation.
Yeah.
And then something stuck to me, and it said, look, as long as I'm able to sell myself, an employer should be able to offer me a job and give me a job offer letter, which I can use to get the permanent residency. And that's where I started correcting my CV, prepared my CV.
Excellent.
Understood what are the templates that are available in the market.
Yeah.
What are the kind of skill sets that are a shortage in the market.
Yeah.
what transferable skills I have as a student are, given the scenario as an intern, what I've learned, pick that up, put it in a nice package in a CV, read it over and over again, and then started applying. And I got a lot of rejections. There was a time when from November 2004 to February 2005, I probably applied for about 300 jobs.
Wow.
And I used to walk literally from Hillsborough to Mount Eden to City to catch a bus to Albany or catch a bus to Smales Farm or somewhere, start literally walking into every firm. Then I realized it doesn't work that way in this market. You got to position yourself in a manner where you're accepted as a migrant, where you are able to have a decent conversation with them. And the most important thing is that you need to be confident as a job seeker. And be very honest. I think when I interview people, I see that they lack confidence and they're not honest about their situation or their experience sometimes. And that doesn't really go well with the market.
No.
So independent of whether you're a migrant or not, I think having that confidence and having that preparation, the mental tuning for that, and also working very hard in presenting yourself very well is very important. And I found my first job in February.
Wow.
Finally.
What was it? What was the job, and was it exactly what you wanted?
So, this was a job where I met this person. He was going away on a holiday in I think in December 2004. And he said, I'll come back and give you a call. So I waited for 2 months and I followed up with him and I was very persistent. And he said, okay, why don't you come to my office? And when he started talking to me, he realized I'm a student and he realized that I was being very honest and I was very hardworking. And he said, fine, I'm happy to hire you. I'll hire you as a computer applications engineer, which is the shortest skill list in the market. And I'm happy to sponsor, but I don't understand the visa thing. I said, give me the job offer, I'll take care of the rest. Don't worry about it. And he was quite happy. I think that answer to him made him feel that this guy is dependable and he's independent on his own. I think that was the key factor.
You're not making him do all the donkey work for you. And
so he said after 5 rounds of interview for the first time and after meeting umpteen number of people, he finally offered me the job. And I took that, went to Immigration New Zealand, presented my case really well, filled up the forms, wrote a cover letter, and I said I need this very immediately. And I got a work visa within 5 days. And the moment I got that, I spent some time, went through my probationary period and applied for my residency. And before that, what I'd done was I had put my university degree on hold because I realized when I'm a resident, the university fee is almost 10 times less. So I put it on hold, wrote a letter to the dean. Then I came back with my residency, re-enrolled and started my degree, started my work.
A lot of hard work and changing your attitude, changing the way before you can get a job. I think this is an important thing because migrants think that somehow their qualification will just guarantee them a job.
No.
It doesn't do that. There are lots of things, as you say, that you have to prepare for, get ready, make the changes. I also hear a lot of migrants, they sort of expect the employer to do all the sponsorship and chasing up the visa. They got a business to run. You want a job, it's your responsibility to do all that and make life easy for the employer. I think that's what you're saying that you did. Fantastic. So you got a job, and so tell us exactly what you do now.
What I exactly do now?
You're working for KPMG. What is your title and what exactly do you do?
So I specialize in data analytics and business intelligence. And so my responsibility is developing a practice, which I've been doing successfully for the last 1 or 2 years. So I've been with them for about 3 years. And so we've kind of employed a lot of people in that area. And we do a lot of, analysis for the business and try to solve their business problems based on the data that we get. And it is not, sometimes the business feels that they understand everything. So what we do is we explain to them, as per our research and our findings, how an industry would function, what your competitors are doing, and what your data tells us, and this is the recommendation we have for you.
So you're really giving some consulting advice to make the business either find out, hey, this is what you do, this could, if you use this, you could do better.
Yeah.
So you're trying to make the business enhance, make more money and all those whatever they want to do, be successful.
Yeah, if you look at the CEO's mindset, there are only two things in his agenda. Is that how do I grow my revenue?
That's right.
And how do I achieve operational excellence?
Yes.
So from both the aspects, for different verticals in the industry and for different functions around customers, marketing, supply chain,
yes,
how can you achieve all these things? So we help segregate each aspect and do the correlation between the data and come back to them.
So typically to analyze this for a medium-sized company, most of them are what we call SMEs in New Zealand, how long will this take?
It can take anywhere from 2 hours to 20 days to 2 months.
Wow.
Depends on the complexity and the involvement of the client.
And you use some sort of analytic software.
That's right, yeah. So what I've done is I've teamed up with the global team in US and UK, and I have a regular conversation with them.
Great.
And we're using all the number one tools in the market.
Fantastic.
And we've built the skill set. What I've found is that in the market, I can't find the skill set that I need. So I have negotiated with these different vendors and product companies, and they come in-house and train our people, and they help us launch it.
Well, there are lots of migrants listening to this program right now, and maybe there are that sort of skills available there.
Yeah.
So what exactly are you looking for? You know, if we've got IT guys listening to this program now, if they were to apply for that job, what sort of skills do they need?
So expertise around solving business problems, so consulting skills, expertise around the business intelligence and data analytics, functional aspects and technical aspects. It could be around writing some code, or it could be around having that expertise in retail market where with looking at the data, someone can tell me that this is the actual problem for the client. Let us go convert this into a product and sell it to them.
So it's like knowledge of databases, data analytics software, data mining, slicing and dicing and all those sort of things.
That's right. And reporting and dashboard. And I think along with all this, the technical skills, you need to have that soft skill as well.
Just tell me about the soft skills.
So what I find now is that at this stage of my career, having that soft skill is probably 80% of my job.
Yes.
Where you need to know the emotion, you need to understand your own emotions. You need to understand and relate to the other person's emotions.
Yes.
Convince them in a manner where they are sure about the solution. Help them to overcome their difficulties in their job, and that is the real value add that we do. So having that interpersonal skills, understanding where to draw the line with your colleagues, understanding how to empower and empower your staff, and help them and nurture them and help them come up in their own career. So I think these kind of skills are also crucial. It's not just about technical skills. You know, I've heard some of the instances where graduates from big firms or from big universities have been hired and they can't perform the job.
So I guess what you're saying in terms of soft skill, you know, prove me if I'm wrong, one of the things to be a good consultant working for KPMG or another similar organization, as well as talking to the client organizations, you have to have some very good English communication skills. Writing as well?
Yes. So particularly on writing, one of the key strengths and appreciation I've got so far in my career is because of my writing skills. So whenever I write a report or whenever I have a deliverable, like an output that I produce, there's 100% confidence on the ground. And the moment they see my name on the report, they know it's done.
Excellent.
So I picked up that skill by reading hundreds of books. So from 2004 to 2010, I roughly read about 350 books.
Wow.
So that kind of gave me that confidence and understanding of putting information in a context where it is easily understood by the reader.
So what you're saying here is no matter what technical qualification you have, you could be the number one person there. But if you cannot articulate that verbally and express that in writing, it's going to be hard.
That's right.
And to do that, you got to read and listen and all the 300 books. Well, I haven't read them myself. So that's a lot, because that's how we improve, don't we?
Yeah. And you need to do it every day.
Exactly.
Learning happens every day.
Yeah.
And every day you need to see from the positive from the other person and from other things and what you can pick up.
Great. So you're successful. You're working for one of those top companies. So what is your future plan for you in New Zealand?
I think anywhere I am, I have an ambition of being an angel investor.
Yeah.
And I have an ambition of, I know for a fact that I can run a very good company.
Okay.
So I want to be a CEO in next probably 5 or 6 years.
Well, I can see you as a Prime Minister one day.
Definitely.
So finally, what would you like to say to your Indian listeners and migrant listeners? There are Chinese, but a lot of Indians listen.
Yeah.
You're an Indian. But look at it from your perspective and the migrant perspective. Can you give us some tips, some advice?
Sure. I think, as I said in the program, it's very important that we have a plan for ourselves. Mm-hmm. We also understand how to communicate and what kind of interpersonal skills we lack and what are our strengths.
Yes.
So probably pick up on that.
Yes.
And also be very confident and honest about your skills are given situation, and work very hard to reach there, and don't be deterred by any setbacks or rejections.
Fantastic advice.
It is bound to happen.
Yes.
You will always find people who are not going to accept you, but that is not the end of the world. Find the next person, get the job, move on with it.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Ram, for sharing your wonderful story with us today. It gives us the confidence that migrants can succeed in New Zealand and can do almost anything.
Yeah.
I'm sure my listeners will be proud of you, so let me ask my listeners some questions. Did you learn something from this interview with Ram today? Would you like to add something to what he said? Or do you have some questions that you would like to ask me or Ram? You can start the questions and post your comments by joining me on my English for Migrants Facebook page.
Join the conversation on Facebook. Facebook.com/English for Migrants. Facebook.com/English for Migrants.
Well, that's what we have for you today. So I'd like you to go to the Facebook page and click like, and then you can join some 240 friends who have already joined me. After my radio program, many listeners also ask me if I can be their English teacher. Sure. If you want to meet with me personally in Auckland, I can do this, or I can teach you online via Skype. And outside this radio program, I offer my services as a private English teacher, employment coach. So if you need individual face-to-face assistance from me to improve your English, prepare you for IELTS, help you with your essays, or get some private coaching for employment, such as writing your cover letter, CV, or prepare you for your job interview, you can get in touch with me via email.
To contact your English teacher, email adon@goshenconsulting.co.nz. That's ADON@GOSHEN consulting.co.nz.
Well, time is running out, so let me give you some idea about what we're going to talk about next week. And the lesson is going to be on words that sound the same. You know, we have lots and lots of words, and sometimes we get them wrong because they sound the same, but they mean something different. So I'm going to talk to you about all such words. So if you miss anything today, you can go to my website on PlanetFM, and you can listen to this lesson after 5 minutes of this show. So we have come to the end of my program. So thank you, Ram, for coming to my English for Migrants program today. And remember, if you want to be my guest on this radio program, like Ram, you can also contact me on 022-340-4433. You can also join me at my English workshops at the Citizens Advice Bureau in Mount Albert on Saturday the 18th of April in the morning, and the Newland CAB branch on the same day at the afternoon. So to attend those workshops, which are all free, you need to call them to register first on 0800 367 222. So until next Sunday at 11:20 a.m., This is Adon Kumar, your English teacher on Planet FM 104.6, saying goodbye and have a fabulous week. And I look forward to connecting with you next Sunday.